It's kind of a long story. I'll try and see if I can fit it in 60 seconds. So we met in our early 20s. We got married at 27, and we did not have the connection and the chemistry that we should have, if that makes sense, in like the bedroom. And I married the nice guy, and he married the hot girl. And we were best friends. Got along so well. We did not fight. We got along so well. But after 14 years together, 12 years married, that lack of chemistry and connection became a huge hole in our marriage. And we filled it with other people. So it was just, our marriage had run its course, and we had our kids together, and that's awesome. And he's happily remarried, and that's great. And I'm happy for him. So my divorce post is not rare. Yeah. So did I know before I got married? Of course I did. I was 27 when I got married. I was 26 when I got engaged. You think you know everything in your 20s. And everyone had told me my entire life, passion fades, passion fades, passion fades. So I took that as you didn't need it. If it fades, why do you even need it? Better off to marry the nice guy, right? I had dated all the douchebags in my 20s and had my heart broken. So I was like, I'm going to go with the nice guy. And to be perfectly honest, he'd been a nerd in high school. He'd never gotten the pretty girls. And I think he married me because I was beautiful. I am beautiful, you know? And we were best friends. Best friends. And that carried us along for a long time until it didn't.
All right, here's a little story. Fellas, pay attention. So I don't just do hair. I actually own a salon. And one of my other stylists has a client, and every time she comes in to get her hair done, which isn't all the time, but it's often enough, her husband gets there hours before her to drop off a box of chocolates for her. This man leaves his home, goes to the chocolate store, which is 2 doors down, buys this woman a box of chocolates, and drops him off at the salon. So when his wife gets there, her stylist presents her with a box of chocolates, and she gets her hair done. Now, I don't need you to be exclusive with me, but I'm looking for that level of commitment. I'm looking for a man who's going to bring me chocolates to my hair appointment. Or coffee. Don't stay for the kids. That's like one of the number one things I'm seeing in my comments. I'm staying for the children. I'm staying for the children. Part of the reason I left was because of the children. I get it. I get it. Thinking about having your children only half the time is nauseating, right? It makes you sick to your stomach to think about. But I didn't want to set the example for my children that lukewarm was what marriage looked like. And if you don't have a healthy marriage, your kids will know. And then they'll think that's what marriage is. And then they'll get into a marriage and think, well, this is like my parents. Would you tell your children to stay in a marriage that didn't fulfill them? Always just trying to keep it real, but, and I'm not the lady who cries on TikTok, but sometimes being a single mom is hard because you don't have anybody else to rely on except for yourself. And so my hot water heater went out, and I now have to miss my youngest son's flag football game, which I only get to go to every other week because I work on the weekends that I don't have them. And now I have to miss it because I have to stay home for a damn hot water heater to be installed. And it's just super frustrating at times because I'm the only adult in the house. And so now I have to leave him and go do that. And it's just, sometimes it's just hard to not have anybody to rely on. And yes, while I have a boyfriend, he doesn't know my kids. They're not involved. And so he can't be at my house. He can't help. It's just me. It's just me. And sometimes it's hard. And that's real.
The saga of the eggless, the bad, and the ugly continues. There's a reason the Chad in the picture doesn't live under her roof. From the hair to the shoddy makeup, everything about this broad screams time bomb. These long-form divorce clips really give you an insight into the lonely world that awaits every feminist. They're all convinced that the world will welcome them back with open arms, but then they're suddenly shocked when nobody wants anything to do with them. Here are the top comments. She didn't want a nice guy, but she wants the guy who brings chocolates. That is the nice guy. The way she elevates herself above him is wild. Dude escaped with his life. She's not worth it. This woman. I'm 52, never married, 4 long-term relationships over 5+ years. Always felt a failure for not getting married. Thank God I never did get married. When the disapproval of the comment section is unanimous, you know you're doing something terribly wrong. This old lady goes on social media to bash her ex, but she doesn't seem to understand she lost the long game. Judging by her character, we bet her son doesn't want her at the game anyway. He's better off with a father figure who will guide him away from anything resembling his absent mother. On to the next one.
My boyfriend of 2 years moved out 10 days ago, and I'm just really feeling really sad today. I miss him so much. And I know it's the right decision, but it's so hard. I'm so sad. And I wish I could be mad at him. It would make it so much easier, but I can't. There's no anger. There's only love. And it's excruciating. And I know I have valid reasons. And I know it's the best thing in the end. But it's so hard. It's so hard. I miss him so much. If you're going through the same thing, I just want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're going through this. And you're really strong. It takes a really strong person to do this. And to not change their mind and say, you know what, forget it. Forget everything I said. Just come back. I don't want to be alone. And I'm scared to be alone. But I made a commitment to myself when I left my husband that I was never going to ignore my intuition. I was never going to ignore that little voice that said, Claire, something's not right. And I guess I love myself more than I love him. And I know that's a victory. I know that that's a good thing. That I love myself enough to not settle for less than I deserve, less than I want. But it's so hard. It's just so hard.
For the last little while, I have been feeling like I don't know what I want to do with my life. I thought I wanted to be a life coach, but now I'm not sure. And what I really want to do is help women leave relationships who feel stuck. People. Include men in there. I want to help anyone who is in a relationship that no longer works for them, is toxic or abusive. I want to help them find a way out. But I have no idea how to do that. And it seems massive. It seems inconquerable. It seems beyond me. And if I'm 100% honest, I don't want it to negatively impact my ex. Because he's not a bad person. He did some bad things. He did not treat me as I should have been treated, but he is not a bad person and I do not want to hurt him. And by me saying that, I felt stuck in our relationship and wanted to leave for several years. It feels like that hurts him. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I'm holding back. I'm holding back on what I really want to do in life. Because I don't want to hurt him any more than I already have. I'm sorry. I want to tell him that I'm sorry I hurt him. And that our relationship got more and more toxic. But it was the hardest thing I've ever done, because I knew it was gonna break your heart. And I hope someday you see that I did this for both of us, because we couldn't stay living like that. We just couldn't. Not if we wanted to be fulfilled, happy people, individuals. And I wish the best for you. I really do. And I know we hurt each other, but I hope that someday there's no tension or animosity. And I hope that you'll forgive me. I had to get out. I had to get out if I wanted to be well. And if I wanted you to be well. Some people think that, when you're the one to leave a marriage, that it's easy and you're just instantly happy, and that's not true. It's not true. It's incredibly difficult. It's so hard. You know you're breaking that other person's heart, but you know you have to do it anyway. And it was soul crushing. But I've done a lot of tough things in my life. I've done a lot of hard things, and I'm resilient. And I'm starting to love myself, and I'm going to do what's best for me. I'm not going to people please anymore. I just can't. It's too hard. I'm not going to mask. I'm not going to pretend. I'm going to be my real self.
Another one for the Chads, boys. It's always nice when the tears fill half your cup. Like most of these 304s, instead of taking responsibility for her actions, this woman picks up the phone to gain some sympathy points from a small blind army of ex-wives. Recording the slow, quick decay of your sanity is the final stage of the divorcee. On the bright side, her husband might be able to watch this from a safe location and get a good laugh. After all, he most likely had to pay for it. Here are the top comments. Thank you for your service, Chad. My ex-wife called me once. She was then remarried but separated, living in her mom's garage and pregnant. Can we talk? F no we can't. Strong, independent woman in action. These always make my heart happy. The lack of sympathy men have for divorced women, it's starting to show, and for a good reason, I must say. In response to the last one here, nobody who behaves like this deserves a monochrome of sympathy. One could only imagine what the average conversation with this chick would be like. No doubt she made her husband partially deaf from her constant tirades. The fact that she actually tries to claim that the husband was responsible is just icing on the cake. These Western women always find a way to make their infidelity heroic. Chad, 1. Eggless divorcee, 0. Next clip.
So I'm getting a divorce.
I have tried to change so many things about my life. Really, it's been scary a little bit. I'm scared a lot.
To understand that a no-fault divorce does not mean that no fault was incurred. Oftentimes, women who've been abused or cheated on will go the no-fault route because they either don't have the financial ability due to financial abuse to go the full court route. It's a courtesy a lot of times if kids are involved because the no-fault divorce is a lot easier to process, especially if it's the father of your children. It's true that women do initiate more divorces, but why? Why? Why do you think that is? Could it possibly be because they got into a relationship with someone who didn't uphold their end of the bargain, who wasn't a good partner? And I'm not saying that every no-fault divorce is that scenario, and I'm not saying there aren't women out there who fall out of love and decide that divorce is the best option, but props to them, honestly, because you know the amount of men who decide that they've fallen out of love and just forget to tell their partner they don't get divorced, they just cheat. This argument is not what you think it is. I suggest you do a little bit more research into why so many women are realizing, oh, we don't need men. I don't have to put up with abuse or infidelity anymore. I don't have to. I don't even need a man to have a baby anymore. It doesn't mean I don't want a man in my life. It doesn't mean that I think all men are bad. But what you've done is you've taken your scenario and you've made some broad brush assumptions about all women that just aren't true. And if you're going to think that and you're going to feel sorry for yourself and be the victim, don't come on and play the victim on the page of a woman who's gotten cheated on and is in the middle of a divorce. Not your audience, dude. You're not going to find any sympathy here.
It marks 48 days since I found out, and 47 days since divorce was decided. I'm doing okay. 6 weeks ago, I couldn't see any light ahead of me. Time has gone by and there's been like little pricks of light up ahead. Like if you had aluminum foil and then you took toothpicks. Little tiny pricks of light coming through. Not enough to see what is on the other side, but enough to let you know that it's light over there. Even on the worst days, I've gone to bed knowing that I am closer to that light. I'm gonna look back on this and say I did not freeze. I moved forward. I am capable. I can do this.
House is sold. My home is not my home anymore. We've also reached our final settlement agreement for the divorce. All in one day. This is the part in the book where the main character finally sees those circles closing, closing the loops. But in all the books I've read, usually these moments are joyful. I don't feel any of that. 6 months ago today, I had no idea my world was about to change. I wish I could say that all okay now. All I can do is hope that another 6 months feels good. And I'll be able to look back I know that the last 6 months were really hard, but were really necessary. And that I did the right thing. I did all the right things. I hope.
It does not feel like a main character energy day. I'm just being honest, because I don't even know why. I'm just tired. I don't know what to do next. I mean, I have options. I'm safe. I'm fine. This isn't a pity thing. I promise I don't need to be rescued. My family is close and they're here. I thought I'd know more as I turned 34.
The hair always tells the story. Watching a dilapidated 304 wear pigtails to try and reclaim her youth is satire at its finest. The interesting part of this one is you can see this chick go through the stages of grief as she fails to explain why her decision was valid. At no point does she think about how this affects anyone else. Here are the top comments. Why do people feel the need to convince everyone, including everyone on social media, why they are right in divorce? Trying to convince themselves? Hope he is better off. These videos are so satisfying. She looks so happy. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. In reply to the second comment, trust us, he's better off. As the description states, this is a no-fault divorce. In other words, she's just another Western woman who doesn't understand the meaning of loyalty. Perhaps the most eye-opening part of this clip is that she keeps referring to herself as the main character. Society has fried her brain to the point that she thinks every decision is worthy of being on the big screen. Here's the last one.
I'm gonna cry. I've just realized that I have become a single 30-year-old mom who's driving in a Dodge Caravan, checking out other men while driving in a subdivision, a suburban subdivision. I am a single 30-year-old woman with 3 children driving a minivan, checking out other dads. Okay, this is where my life is. I finally let go. Oh my gosh, you have no idea what it feels like. To just finally let go. I forgive him. I'm so thankful for him. Even the bad, because man, if I didn't experience it, I wouldn't even know who I would be. Because of him, I love myself more. Because of him, I learned about myself. Because of him, I was able to heal and understand my shadow work and to fix the things that I contributed to the marriage. And the patience. It's such a beautiful thing when you can take accountability for what you've done and grow and learn from it. And come to the other side and just I'm so grateful and I appreciate all of these experiences, but on a much deeper level. I just want his happiness, and he's found that. And we may not be where I was hoping we would be, but I can only control myself. But I can just look back on us, and it's sad to see how it got there, how it got to here. But being where I am right now, it's all worth it. And everybody says, choose your hard. In these past 4 years, oh my gosh, they have been hard. What I've experienced in the past 4 years is more than what people experience in a lifetime. I chose hard. But by choosing hard, I found myself. I truly found myself.
The performative crying is truly insane, and honestly, it never gets old. There's something satisfying about watching these thoughts regret joining the feminazi regime. This 30-year-old child continues to harvest gratitude for destroying a perfectly normal relationship. The captions here are on the money. This chick really has hit the wall, and she clearly has no idea how to handle it. The comments are, remember your motto, we are boss babes, we don't need men. She doesn't worry about destroying her family, just about her and her feelings. Hell, at least you have the house and most of the possessions. I bet he has almost nothing left. It's all about her. She can buy herself flowers. Another united comment section, which is not surprising to say the least. With a full cup of tears, I think it's safe to say that all of these men are much poorer for making this mistake, but they are much better off than they would be if they continued to feed the Western lie. Every one of these women is so disconnected that they feel the need to prop up their camera before feeling any kind of emotion. If this isn't the perfect example of the future of feminism, I don't know what is. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.